You keep telling me to make it, yeah. To the spot where we would stay lit, and finish bottles never wasted, yeah. Cause that's where I'm.
Hello and welcome to an episode of On Campus. This is Ashley Ching, the city's Miss Fairfield. Today I'm joined with a special guest, Mr. Kenyon, the coach for academic decathlon team at Vanden High School. It's a pleasure to have you here today, Mr. Kenyon.
Thank you very much.
How many times have you all won at Vanden High for academic decathlon?
Well, this is now, every year we win, it's another record-setting. We're on our 16th straight, so it's in 16 straight years.
I think I saw that you also had placed in state a few times.
We've won state Division II twice, finished second twice, third twice, I think.
Right.
After a while, you kind of lose track of them.
And I saw that with your education background, you have a lot of different interests: international relations, psychology, humanities. What do you think the benefits are of having a well-rounded background like that?
Well, because academic decathlon is comprised of 10 subjects. It has 3 subjective, with speech, interview, and essay, and then 7 objective, and it's all glommed on a thematic approach. So this year it was Africa. We'll probably find out really soon what next year's is. In the past, it's been the French Revolution, Russia, World War II, World War I, China, Latin America. So it runs all over the place.
And how do you think having so much knowledge benefits students in the long run?
Well, they really become, we like to tell the kids that it's called learning for life. So they're going to carry these skills on wherever they go. And if you look at where our kids are, for example, like this moment, we have 3 kids at Harvard, one pursuing a PhD in East Asian Studies with a concentration in Japanese, one at Harvard Law, who actually, interestingly enough, started her post-high school career at Solano College, so we'll put a little high five for Solano. And one is pursuing a pre-med.
Wow, that's really impressive.
And then we've had, we have 3 right now we have one at the Air Force Academy, actually we had 2, the Air Force Academy, one at West Point and one at the Naval Academy.
All from Vanden High School.
And that's all just current, but in the
Okay.
past, we've had kids go to Stanford, Oxford,
Sure.
in England.
And they were all academic decathletes?
They were all decathletes.
Okay.
University of Chicago, MIT. We have right now the #1 coding student at UC Berkeley,
Whoa, okay.
getting ready to graduate.
So studying all these things, I understand that you all study about 15 hours a week, 11 months a year.
Probably more than 15. That's about 15 at school, and they're
Okay.
on their own. We do about 11 months a year.
What advice do you have for our Solano students on how to take in all this information with busy schedules?
Well, they learn how to prioritize. They learn how to be purposeful in their learning, to extrapolate what's really important and what's the superfluous, what they can discard. And most importantly, we really work a lot early on speech and the ability to interview. Because even though it's 30% to 70% objective, early on we'll tell them the 30% has greater weight than the 70%. I mean, I understand that 70 is greater than 30, but the 30% we have more controllability. So if we can learn how to interview, that's a skill that'll carry on for life. If we can learn how to speak, both impromptu and prepared, you're going to be tough to beat in any interview in the future.
That's a really good point. What kind of test strategies do you give to our students? Because I know you have to take 7 different multiple choice tests all over the weekend.
And they're really, because I teach 3 AP U.S. history classes, I teach AP micro and macroeconomics in addition, because academic decathlon at our school through Sacramento State is a 3-unit college class. So for a very minimal $34.50, they get 3 college credits, and they can do that 2 years in a row. So it's not bad to get 6 units of college work for,
Right.
pennies.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. So We take a lot of tests, and they get so good at taking tests that most of the kids learn they can walk into a class, have little to no knowledge of that class, and probably do okay on an exam. They can learn how to throw
Like
out
70%.
70%.
Do you have any secrets for us on how to get that passing grade?
Well, first of all, there's no shortcut in the work. This is not like certain classes you can get by without a lot of work. Academic Decathlon, our slogan really is hard work pays off. We know there's no shortcut. You got to work hard. You got to have a little bit of fun. So we're not all about work.
You're going to burn out otherwise.
Otherwise, the kids burn out, and they do. They do. Kids, they do burn out in academic decathlon. A lot of kids it's interesting because usually I recruit for my AP U.S. history class, which are juniors. That's the majority of the kids that come onto the team. And by the end of the year, by end of March, they're burnt. They are. They've worked.
Because you have regular school and academic decathlon.
They've worked incredibly hard, and the funny thing is, though, within a few months, they come back, and they continue to come back. And so here it is. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. And the kids that have been on all those 16 previous winning teams, they know they're married now and they're in their professions and stuff. They're lawyers and doctors and engineers, blah, blah, blah. And they know that the time is coming, and they'll still drop lines. Good luck. We're rooting for you.
Definitely. I wanted to be in academic decathlon, but just didn't quite work my high school schedule. So it's great to be a volunteer and see all the excitement at the awards ceremony. The kids were so excited to see their name on the board, and we gave them the awards, the gold medals. It was a lot of fun.
It's what they work for. It's a lot different, because when I first got into coaching, my principal, I was actually coaching football, and softball, and baseball, and Vanden was not very good at this. We were probably the worst team in the county.
Whoa.
So it didn't happen overnight. It took a little while. And I kind of took it from, she kind of told me I had to drop the athletic coaching and then move more to that. And I said that was fine, but I was going to somewhat run it a little bit with the desire like a athletic coach.
Right.
Have structured practices, know where we're going, and not waste time, not be inefficient. So we try to be as efficient as we can. Recruit as many kids as I can in my classes. So the more classes they have with me, it benefits them. So I try to get as many kids as possible to try to take for example, AP Econ. That's one of the subject matters. So you can, the proverbial killing two birds with the one stone, that will help you a lot for the academic decathlon.
What does a regular, typical study session look like for a decathlete?
Well, we're lucky in the fact that at Vanden, our district gives us a class. And I would not coach without a class because it's just really hard to do without the class. So we have a 7th period, so it's a 53-minute class.
I hope that's after school.
No,
not at 7 a.m.
That's 7th period. So it's 2:15 to 3:11 roughly. And then we have about a 10-minute break. The kids get 10-15 minutes to relax, eat, is usually what they do. And then we go till about 5 o'clock. And then they usually go home and put in an hour of work. But when you're nearing competition, they'll work more, they'll put in more hours, and they'll put in hours on the weekend. We'll practice this periodically on the weekend. I'm a husband and a father. I do tell the kids I'm a husband and a father first, even though my son is getting ready to graduate from high school too. And then next month when we go to state, we'll go away for a couple of days and we'll cram about 20 hours a day.
20 hours a day? You've got to have the 8 hours of sleep though, right?
They can sleep later.
I would just think having that ability to be well rested to retain information?
They will. I mean, I've probably exaggerated a little bit,
Sure.
but they're going to be amped up because for most of them, it's their one shot at state.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's their one shot.
How close are you to winning nationals? You've done state before.
You know, the first year we won state, we would have gone to nationals if they hadn't pulled back the previous year's rule. We would have gone to nationals. We were sixth overall in the state, and you have to understand, we're going against LA teams.
Okay.
So an LA team has about 70 kids trying out for the team, and they're going to whittle it down to about 9. We'll keep about 15 to 18, 20, 25 max, but we don't have 70 kids knocking at the door. They'll work their entire school curriculum around the theme of that year's academic decathlon. We have kids who are taking multiple AP classes, playing sports, doing this, doing that. And most of my kids, I also run, besides academic decathlon and kind of running the boys and girls state program at our school, I also run our Friday Night Live program, which makes films and all this other stuff, and works with the Office of Problem Gambling, Office of Traffic Safety, running town hall meetings, and most of those officers are decathletes too. So they do both.
As you said, it's like a sport, academic decathlon, and we do have a lot of sports viewers out there. So what advice do you have to refine your performance mindset, to be in the best state of mind so that you give your best performance?
Get your own training regimen down. Like you said before, you do have to rest. You do have to take care of yourself because they do get worn down. Understand that it is a test of the brain, and the DECA, of course, is the 10, decathlon is the 10 categories of competition. Approach it like you're an athlete, and we kind of think about nerds will rule the world someday.
That's how I felt seeing you all in the regionals. It was like, yes, we got this.
Yeah, I think sometimes having coached baseball, football, and softball, and swimming, and all these other sports, sometimes athletes forget until they actually come to the competition just how much these kids put in relative to what the athletes put in during their season. Because this is an 11-month season, not a 3 or 4 month season.
Right.
And we don't get to pick our team the day before the competition. That team gets picked months, certainly weeks in advance. And so you know what can happen to a high school kid in that time.
Is there anything final you want to add about academic decathlon?
I think it's a great program. I think, as I kind of said earlier, it's something that's, for whatever reason, it just stays with the kids years past. And for me personally, I mean, my wife loves it. Tomorrow we have a spaghetti feed at Golden West.
She has to love it.
But she gets involved in it. I go to the kids' former decathletes' weddings. I have a couple to go to this year. We always say it becomes the other family.
Well, Mr. Kenyon, I wish you the luck for state level March 23rd weekend. And I hope to see you soon in that capacity.
And thank you for having me.
Definitely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us with Solano College Sport Networks on campus. This is Ashley Ching, the city's Miss Fairfield. Teach people how to treat you and know you can walk away.
Hi, I'm Dr. Celia Esposito Noy. Thanks for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just like fulfills me as a person.
I've been taking classes here for years now, so I've never actually had a class that I enjoyed quite like this one.
You know, I think it teaches you a lot about, it's confidence building to me.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's great.
Nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have. And POF with this program lets you be as ambitious as you want, and lets you express yourself the way a teacher should let you.
So, like I said, it's really gratifying to us to be able to help in a way where we can see immediate results. And I think the sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.
Get the hands-on experience.
I mean, on-the-job training is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge in this industry.
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
And cut three, hold your shot, stand by, we're going to go to cut one.